Hi, I'm Elizabeth Fife. I'm the co-chair of the PTC Research and Educators Committee. And today I'm here with Nico Grove, who's a longtime contributor to PTC's research. Nico is one of the founders of Di², which is Digital Infrastructure Investments. Nico's also a senior TMT expert and a serial entrepreneur.
And I'm here with Elizabeth.
Yes. Nico's also the founder of an institute for infrastructure economics and management, and this is an independent management institute and based in Munich, and Nico's based in Germany as well. So thanks, Nico, for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Today we're going to talk about the topic of your panel that you'll be delivering at PTC with your partners. The panel's entitled Digital Transformation in Europe. More widely, we'll talk about the impact in the wake of COVID-19. Obviously, since the start of the COVID crisis, the demand for broadband has skyrocketed. People are working at home, studying at home, doing PTC interviews from their home. So my first question to you, Nico, just looking at sort of the value chain, what are some of the strategies and challenges for the carriers, IXPs, the regional telcos, and how has capacity been handled so far? It seems like things have worked pretty well.
Yes, depending on and where. Thank you, Elizabeth. Let's say we are focusing for sure on Europe in that perspective, because that's where we are based and we have the insights in our clients and industry. The COVID effect is quite interesting because we can also see that on the internet exchanges where the traffic is peaked, and we have to admit in Germany, our peak increased also in the evening. That means people even watched more Netflix and stuff and online video. However, we saw also effects like in the UK. Our Di² ambassador, Paul Foley, he did a study on that one. And he found out that in the morning, sort of, the traffic also increased massively because the UK, for example, was much more ready for online schooling. We sort of, in Germany, we do a lot of stuff, maybe regarded very sophisticated, and but school is not among that one, especially not online schooling. So there was nothing in traffic change that started over time. We had a lot of traffic change for sure with all that video and online video stuff. And that is sort of from the just pure statistic perspective. However, from our business perspective, we also saw massive increase, even more in investment, or companies or professional investors willing to invest in more digital infrastructure, which is not just fiber networks or mobile towers and stuff, but also data centers. And this is something we also have a sort of look in our session on the 17th, as you said. And well, we had there even more of our ambassadors, which all engage for free for Di², in the various areas, like also in usage and cybersecurity, digital education and learning, as we discussed already, and also effects like in work. And there we can take that COVID effect sort of as cause and effect and have a look at statistics and even see effects in companies. And that's, again, which came to even more investment and investment demand for digital infrastructure. And that is sort of, in a nutshell, the session we are talking about.
Right. Ideally, what should the network operators be doing right now, just in a general sense? And are there any sort of best practices out there? You said Germany actually has a few issues, and you mentioned the UK is doing well in education. Are there any other kind of standouts that you see?
Well, for the providers, I think that was really for especially Austria, Switzerland, Germany here, the kick in order to invest more in fiber networks. We are far behind, yeah. Even in Europe, Germany is, with Austria, one of the countries which has the least fiber penetration. So this one is really skyrocketing. Investment is also going into the value chain, into former elements like even construction companies, and there we see massive takeovers and consolidation, and that's all effects we see there, which COVID initiated, yeah, with all the bad stuff it does. However, for digital infrastructure, it's a big boost, yeah.
Right. What about like some of the more fine details? I've heard about like the field engineers, the workforce getting out there, and there's sort of availability of that element as an issue to keep critical operations going in like the data centers and the cell site, and the other critical infrastructure sites.
That's more or less all fine on a professional level. When you had the B2C relationships in terms of their activating new lines and stuff, that was delayed massively. They had to find out all the new ways of, let's say, interacting, because you're going as an installation guy into the home, then you have to have the protection, you have to have new processes and all that stuff. So that took massive delays and still is more complex for sure than before. However, as people are at home, yeah, that is again a good effect, because you don't have to schedule so many appointments. Yeah, I've been recently at the project here where they did a village in one day in fiber. Yeah, so because everyone was at home, they even did their home connections, and I was there. That was very impressive. Yeah, we had a look. They started in the morning at 6, and we're connecting the first guy on fiber at 6 in the evening. So that's when you have all of them there, a couple of hundred construction workers and all the equipment, that worked very well. Yeah.
Right. Okay, just maybe one or two more questions. So time has gone quickly here. So just maybe from a regulatory standpoint, how can further investment be stimulated for like fiber deployment and other kinds of infrastructure needs?
Well, currently here in, so as said, the fiber-focused countries, UK, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, this is more like not a matter of more investment. We have a bunch of capital there. It's more a question of getting it into the ground, yeah? And additional investment is coming also from the state, which also tries to sort of fasten that process with just money. However, again, for fiber, it's really a shortage in construction, even though we have a big capacity there. However, you won't build up as an industry so much capacity that it just used for, let's say, 2 or 3 years. Therefore, we just need also a bit of time. Yeah? And I know the pressure is there, but it's not an investment shortage at all anymore.
Right. What about any other larger sort of strategic challenges looking forward for the large players in Europe?
Yeah, we see here currently also consolidations. That means even the big guys looking to take over others. We see consolidation also between the small ones to make new big ones. Yeah, we had one big takeover also this year or last year, starting there with the Deutsche Glasfaser, which was taken over by EQT and another fund. Yeah, so yeah, and this is massively increasing with other investors really approaching the market here with multi-billion figures. Yeah.
How do you see what you've now described as sort of the European landscape in terms of implications for other markets like Asia or the US? Sort of similar, a similar situation?
Well, that's depending also on the sort of preconditions where you come from. Yeah, for sure, US is a good example of consolidation. Yeah, you had a lot of these federal state companies. However, there's also a limit for this consolidation, depending on the state again and state law. However, as you see more in Asia, yeah, the big ones, they're consolidating there, and we see more a shift again from infrastructure and service, means that more and more services are getting, like we said also in research for years, yeah, more independent from the infrastructure. Yeah. And this is where even more with 5G in data centers and all edge data centers and sort of processing and storing data and on different locations will be the next sort of step, where you need all that AI stuff and yeah, like cloud AI and examples like Snowflake showed us where the next investment is going to. Yeah, and this all has to be supported by infrastructure. And personally, I'm always of the opinion that it is not a good idea to deliver everything from one old dinosaur, because he's not flexible enough.
Right. Okay, well, I think you really laid out a lot of important issues that will be further discussed in your panel. I thought you might like to just say a quick word about your panel that's coming up, and then we'll close.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth, again. And panel takes place on the 17th. And as said, we are discussing a couple of working papers from our Di² ambassadors. And yeah, under the title, like you said before, digital transformation in Europe and current effects of COVID-19. And I would be more than happy if you join there.
Great. Well, thanks a lot, Nico, for this.
Thank you, Elizabeth, as always.
And we will see you in your PTC panel.
Perfect.
So, thanks a lot.
Thank you.